Morning. It is Saturday morning, around 11 here in Australia. I thought I'd go live for a little bit. I'm enjoying a cup of coffee out on the porch. And we got to see who was out here, who was around. It should be Friday night in the US, probably really late in England. But figured I'd give it a shot and see who's here. Hello, hello. I'm just popping in live. I'm here on my front porch in rural town of Rapanyup in country Victoria in Australia. It's harvest season, so if you drive anywhere, your car is going to get a dusting of crop. I think they're doing barley mostly right now is what they're harvesting. They did canola earlier. Let me just clean up some of this stuff here. So good morning, good morning. Having a coffee from the Blacksmith, our local coffee shop here in Rapanyup. I am still in Australia. I am in the little town of Rapanyup. Hello from Canada. And it's a beautiful morning. It's not too warm yet. It's supposed to get up to 30 today. But as of right now, it's probably about 20, 22. It's not bad. And just thought I'd pop in and say, hey, see what everyone's up to. I don't know if has anybody read my book, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. If you have, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Hi from Spain. Hi, Claire, Ciara. I am much happier here, Nancy. So much happier. 22 Celsius. It's a little chilly, but it's going to get up to 30. Oh, thank you. It's one of my, I do like this wig a lot. I am growing out my hair, so I can maybe ditch the wigs eventually, but right now I'm sticking with the wigs. Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. And you have read your book. It was great. Oh, thank you, Bella Joy. I appreciate that. I really love the feedback. It was more therapeutic for me to write it, but I love to know that other people enjoyed reading it. I think 22 is a little chilly. What was your favorite fast food? What is your favorite fast food restaurant? Don't really have one. I guess I liked Popeyes in the United States, but here we have really just Macca's, Hungry Jack, KFC, and Subway are like the only options. I'd probably go Hungry Jack's. What kind of bird in the background? Probably a cocky or magpie. We got a bunch of them. Tam feeds the birds, and because I'm sitting out on the porch, they're a little put off because they don't like to eat while I'm out here. But oh well, they'll get over it. Yeah, it's an annoying one. The birds can get very loud, especially dawn or dusk. When all the cockies come out, it's very, very noisy. And of course, Bandit, he's got the run of the backyard. And because he's a hunting dog by nature, he's caught 3 birds so far, which is not good, but oh, thank you, Ian. I like this. I just got this on Shein. This is one of my Shein ones. Hey, from Michigan. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you. I've got electrolysis on Monday down in Ballarat, and that pretty much ends the things we've got to do for the year. How do I feel about social media ban in Australia? You know, I don't think it's a good idea personally. I think especially trans kids and LGBT kids and people that have issues find community sometimes in social media. I know it can be bad, but it can also be good. And I just taking it all away, I think is not the right answer. So I don't think that's a good idea. Hey, you're from Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK. That's awesome. There's a Newcastle we have in Australia too, which is not surprising. It's a Commonwealth country, so there's a lot of similar places. You're in Sydney, Kathy. Okay. I saw there was a restaurant. I looked it up yesterday that has really good hamburgers, but it was in just outside of Sydney, Wollongong or something like that. I was like, ooh, I want to try that. Hey, Aqua. I used to go by Aqua. That was my name. When I worked, people would call me Aqua. I have a space shuttle jacket that says Aqua on it. Um, Hello from Melbourne. When is my next cruise? It is March 13th, 2026, out of Brisbane, and it's on Voyager of the Seas. Mom of a 17-year-old trans girl in Dubbo, New South Wales. I tried to add you on Facebook. Oh, okay. I will look for you. Sometimes I don't. If I don't recognize you on my personal one, Bobby, I will add you. You can always go to Tam and Bobby Adventures, but I will add if I'll look for you. Are you under Shazzy Eldridge? Hey, from Vancouver. Is the moon landing fake or real? It was real. So all kinds of cool stuff. It's kind of chill right now. Not really. I mean, we're ending up the end of the year. Tam actually is going to pick up some stuff from Marketplace. So they're driving to just outside of Bendigo to pick up like a marble wash cupboard. It's like a basin she saw, but it's not the sink part. It's like a cupboard. And then going to Stall because there's a lady who sells some art, and so we're gonna pick up some art. Newcastle, how are you doing? Not seen you for a while. I'm doing good. How are you doing? Son wants to be an astronaut. He is still in his first year at U.S. Naval Academy. If he wants to, he can. I mean, there's actually more options now because not only do you have NASA astronauts, which you can apply to for sure, but you've got other things. You've got like SpaceX and others that are starting to hire astronauts. So if he wants to be an astronaut, and I wouldn't do it because I do good on cruise ships, but I think it's a really loud bird. I do good on cruise ships, but I think in space I would be motion sickness. I wouldn't be good with that. But so yeah, no, it's a beautiful morning. Hello, hello. If others have read my book, The Woman Inside: From Outer Space to Inner Peace, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on it. Thank you. I like this color. This is one of my new Sheen outfits. I like pink and black. It's kind of my color combo. I think it's one of my favorites. But yeah. Of course, I think most people are probably wrapping up. Have you been on demonstration models of the spaceship? I've actually been on real spaceships. I've been on the space shuttle. I've been in every space shuttle. I've been in mock-ups for training of Orion, which is the one NASA's going to launch around the moon on February 6th, no earlier than February 6th. 12:05 a.m. Oh, it's late. But no, I've been on. I used to troubleshoot. I used to work on space shuttles, so I spent a lot of my career crawling in and about various space shuttles. I've been in all five, so Columbia, Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour were the 5 space shuttles, and I've been in all of them. Thank you, TJ. Nice to see you're here. Is living in Australia compared to Florida. You know what? You don't know how much stress you're under until, oh, thank you, Pony Power. You don't know how much stress you're under till you don't have it anymore. And just the fear of being shot in Florida just added that stress because there's so many guns and so much gun violence and people in our neighborhood with guns. Well, it's called misgendering, and it's done on purpose. Then they're being annoying, and yeah, they should be blocked. What do you think of mass shooting in Australia? I think it's horrific. I think it's terrible, but Australia is looking to be proactive, unlike the U.S. They're looking on reducing the number of guns people can own down to 3, and as well as doing other things. So, which videos think yours move through your transition? I missed. I watch your videos. Was curious as you move through your transition. I missed the question. What are your favorite memories and how did it influence your memoir? So I have a lot of memories at NASA. I keep thinking of more of them, but you can't put a life of 63 years into a book. One, no one would read it, and it would probably be incredibly boring. So I tried to pick the memories that were significant to me, and I also, it's a trade-off. I'm writing my life story, so I meet people in the course of living my life, and I do things with them, and we have adventures and stuff like that. And I think about how much to say about that because, again, it's my life story, not their life story. And I don't want to, and I'm not trying to write their life story. So there's a lot of things that happened to people in my circle that I didn't cover in the book because it wasn't my story to tell. So you should be able to get the book in the UK, Newcastle. Amazon.uk, it's on. You can also go to my link tree, and there's ebook options, there's audiobook options, and you should be able to get them all. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify. You should be able to get them all in the UK, and you should be able to get it on Amazon.uk. So, thank you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't have guns, but I'm not opposed to people having guns, but I think you need to have strict laws. I mean, they're a dangerous weapon, and you shouldn't just give them out to anyone like the U.S. I mean, anyone can go into Walmart and pretty much buy a gun. So, I was asking what was been the hardest part of your transition. So I'm still living in Australia has been a lot easier for me on transition because everyone is so chill, everyone is so welcoming and inclusive. I would say it's the waiting for things to happen. I'm on estrogen, and I've just increased the dosage of estrogen. I'm seeing changes on my body, not just the girls. I'm seeing other changes on my body. I know I have to work on my voice. I'm trying to kind of get better at that. I'm trying to grow my hair out naturally so I can ditch the wigs and just have my own hair. I was 60 years pretending I was male, and so I have some pattern baldness in there. I've got a prescription for some stuff that's trying to overcome that. So there's just a bunch of things. It just takes time, and it's going to get there. I'm a work in progress, as is everyone. But yeah, the freedom to just be myself is incredible. Thank you, Brian. I tried Waterstones and they didn't have it. 8 will try. Okay. Yeah, it's not at like small bookstores and things like that, but if you go to my profile, you'll find my link tree, and on there you can find all the different options. Wherever it is, you can go check there. So, thank you, Jill. I'm a work in progress. I'm getting there. Have I had a prostate exam? I have. And so I know that was a dig because I have a prostate, but I know I have a prostate. I am looking to get some surgery coming up, hopefully next year, early next year. I've talked about that on other videos, an orchiectomy, where they remove the testicles, and that'll help with the change over to estrogen, and I won't need to have testosterone blockers to block the testosterone that they generate. So I'm looking forward to that. I do live in Australia. I am in the little town of Rapanyup in Western Victoria. It's out by the Grampians, if you know where that is. With meds, you don't really need surgery. I don't really need it. It's more helping me with my body image of trying to make my outside appearance match what my inside appearance is. I described it in the book, and this took me a while because I'm a computer person. So let me walk you through this. So your body is like, if you think your body's like a computer, you've got your brain is your CPU, it's your memory, it's all that stuff. And then you have peripherals. You have arms, you have legs, you have eyes, ears, nose, mouth. You have genitalia. Those are all your peripherals of your computer system. You need software to make peripherals work. If you've ever installed a card in a computer and know that without the right driver, the card is not going to work right. Well, for me, I feel that my genitalia is like a hardware card peripheral without the right software. And I tried updating the software many times, and I can't figure out how to get the software updated. So I think what I need to do is really replace the hardware. So I'm going to go for a hardware upgrade eventually, long term. I talk about it in the book. I'm a 63-year-old lesbian woman, so I don't really think I need a full vagina. I'm sorry if that's too much detail for you guys, but just know you're okay the way you are, but I get that too. Yeah, I know. And so I don't think I need it, but I think they have what they call minimum depth vulvoplasty. Kathy, hi, bye. Loving your book. Thank you so much, Kathy. This is one of my new outfits from Shein. You'll be seeing over the next few days. I picked up a bunch of summer outfits, and so I'm thoughts on people like Jeffree Star or RuPaul who have been confusing figures in trans community. Everyone has got their own story. Everyone is going about their journey. People that are cross-dressers are different than trans people. I mean, and I'm not saying it's bad or wrong. It's different. They have a male identity. They feel comfortable dressing up as women, and that's perfectly fine. I think that I've got a disconnect between like I said, between my installed hardware and the software, and so I'm trying to right myself so that my body and my mind match. And it's a work in progress. It's going to take a while, but I'll get there. Thank you. Do I use the women's bathroom? Yes, I do, because I'm a woman. And, I was one of the things when I first started transitioning, I was probably the most worried about was using the women's restroom. I've never had a problem using a women's restroom. You go into the stall, you close the door, you pee, you come out, you wash your hands. I've tried fixing the software, Vegas, Chrissy guy. I actually have. I have tried, I've done medical tests, and they said there's nothing physically wrong with me. They said, the brain is the biggest sex organ you have. And I've tried to figure out a way to change the software without luck. And I've tried for 60 years, and I was not successful. Oh, thank you, Lexi. I know, and I feel bad for all the people in America that are having to do it. Would you do another cruise all over the world again? Not all over the world. We're actually, I'd like to do maybe another Holland America cruise that goes from, say, Sydney to somewhere in Europe. We want to go visit Scotland. We want to go see our friends' cruise mom and dad. But I'd like to not fly both ways. And so it's not going to be anytime soon. Maybe when I turn 70 or, somewhere in that time frame, we'll take another long cruise. But, we've got to save up the money. What did you like most / hate about working at NASA? That's a good question, Brian. My favorite things was the hands-on, solving problems, and being in the firing room on launch and controlling the main engine control, being part of the main engine controller group, and just the intensity of a launch countdown as you count down, making sure everything was okay. What did I hate most was probably when I got up later in life. I was into management, and so you dealt with more budget and schedule, and budget planning, budget execution is probably the worst, is trying to fit what you need to do into the existing budget. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Do I live in Florida? No, I used to live in Florida, but January 4th we left Florida and we moved to Australia. Thank you, Cinderellina. I am not MAGA, so thanks, Reb. Bye. Well, when did you notice you wanted to transition? That's an excellent story, and that's part of what the book is about here. I'll tell you a little bit. So when I went back and looked at my life, I realized that in my teenage years, I knew I was different. There was something different about me. Do I personally know any trans person that has been shot in the U.S.? I don't personally know anyone who's been shot. I know of people that have been shot, a lot of people, not just trans people. But back to, I will say hi to Tam, thank you. But back to when did I know I should transition when I was a woman? I know you're there, TJ, thank you. So in my late teens, early 20s, I knew there was something wrong with me. I was different. Something that wasn't working right. When I got into my 30s, I was becoming more often. This was before the internet. You realize I'm old, right? So I didn't know any trans people. The internet wasn't around. I had very little knowledge to go help me figure out why I felt I was different than I thought I should be. By the time I got into my early 40s, the internet was a thing. And obviously I would do research. And a lot of trans women had blogs where they would share their transition story and talk about their life. And I think at that point I realized this was probably for me. But I thought I was 40, and a couple of years to transition. How much longer do I have anyway? 40's old back then. When you're in your 30s and turning into 40s, 40 seems really old. I know it's silly, but so I didn't transition, even though I thought that was probably what was the right thing for me. But I thought, no, I'm too old. I'm just going to live it out, and I'll just be myself. And then, I would go on business trips for work because I couldn't come out to my first wife. I tried a little bit. It wasn't really being receptive. And so I'd go on business trips to places like Denver, and I would go to the local Target and I would buy some women's clothes. And in the safety and security of the hotel, I would wear women's clothes. I would, get rid of as much hair, chest hair and stuff like that. I would buy some there. I would put on women's clothes. I would feel like I was myself. And then when I went outside, I was obviously dressed as a male. And then when I was in my 50s, my first wife passed away from breast cancer. And I thought, well, maybe I should look at transitioning again. Again, I thought, I'm too old. 50, wow, 50 is really old. I'm not going to transition now. And then, one of my grandaughters I had a Buddhist calendar. And I talk about this in the book. Oh, thank you. And so there was this Buddhist calendar. Every day was a different Buddhist saying. And I think it was like March 26th. And it's like, if you think you're too old, know that as long as you're alive, you're never too old. As the saying goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And that, with the support I had of Tam and my daughter Jordan, and then eventually my granddaughters and stuff like that, I just made the decision to transition. And since that day, I have presented as female the entire time. Yeah, it was so. Am I a religious person? So I've gone through many religions in my life. I was born Protestant, Methodist, growing up. I was in an Episcopalian church for a while. I was actually a senior warden at an Episcopal church in Cocoa. I've been a Presbyterian church. I would consider myself now probably the closest I would to say is I'm probably a Buddhist. I did a lot of reading during COVID. I'd read the Bible before. I read the Quran. I've read Buddhist text. I've read Hindu text. I would consider myself more Buddhist. I think I don't know as much about it as I should, but when we went to Japan on the World Cruise, they have a Shinto religion, which is really amazing. The people are so wonderful, and their Shinto religion is just so, respecting everything and everyone and all of nature. Hey, from Singapore. I was very stressed, yeah. So yeah, I would say Buddhist probably is my... You love the chirping of birds? Yeah, there's a magpie that's kind of walking up, kind of staring at me. Tam put out some bird food before they went to Bendigo. And the birds are kind of sitting around trying to figure out if they can go in and eat the food because I'm sitting here on the porch. I do. I mean, we have a lot of birds in this area. We have little swallows, the, what do they call them? Something eaters. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like pink. Pink and black, I think, is my jam. So thank you for the roses. Thank you for all the support. Hey, from Atlanta. Do you keep in contact with Christian and Chrissy? I message them every now and then. I obviously follow them and what they're doing. I have messaged Christian. I kind of gave him a hard time because he was in Ballarat a couple times, and Ballarat's like 2 hours from me, and he did not tell me he was there. Honey Eaters, thank you, Lexi. That's it. And he didn't tell me he was there, so I'm a little bummed at Christian. I kind of message Mark Sebastian every now and then. I've been following his adventures still. He's an amazing human. So yeah, I keep trying to keep in contact with everyone. Oh, thank you, Waitsat. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before it gets too cold here. No, it's a lovely day, though. It's a beautiful day here. What are the rules in Australia about American living there? So, I arrived in Australia on a tourist visa, 3 months, and then good for a year, 3 months on, 3 months off, or 3 months on, then you have to leave the country. Once I got in, I applied for a spousal visa. You're going to go see Pod Save America in Sydney? Oh, thank you. We're going to go see in Melbourne, as you know, so that's awesome. So anyway, I've applied for a spousal visa, and I don't know how long that takes, 12 months, 18 months. But in the meantime, I'm on what they call a bridging visa, which means I can stay in the country while they process the spousal visa. I can't leave, though. Can you buy the book on Amazon? Yes, you can. It is there. You can also go to my profile and visit my Linktree, and it has all the options you can go. Tam is from Australia by birth, born in Australia. I'm got a cruise in March, and if I don't get my permanent residence by the end of January, I have talked to my immigration lawyers. I'm going to apply for what they call a bridging visa B, which is kind of like in the U.S. if you go through immigration. They have what they call advanced parole, which allows you to travel outside the country while your visa is being processed. It's about $500 between the Australian fee and the lawyer's fees to do that, but I'll go ahead and do that. Australia is a popular holiday destination for people in Singapore. Well, that's cool. Singapore is a beautiful place. We didn't spend nearly enough time there. We were only there for 6 hours on the world cruise. What don't I like about living in Australia? So winters in Victoria get colder than they do in Florida. So I'm still kind of getting used to that. Would you become an Australian citizen down the track? Yes, and I should be able to be dual citizen. Currently, I can be both a U.S. and an Australian citizen. What degrees did you get in school for your NASA career? I have a bachelor's degree in computer engineering, and so I hired in working on the computer system on the space shuttle main engines, and then kind of worked my way. From once you get in, you kind of prove yourself, and then you can kind of move up and move around. But yeah, I was a bachelor in computer engineering. I am married. I'm married to Tam. Tam actually immigrated to the U.S. and we got married in the United States in 2017. And then we left in 2025 and moved to Australia. And this is where we live now. This is our home. So, and I love it. This is a beautiful little place. It's a small town, population of about 500. It's very country and rural. You have the town, but then around the town is just farms. And they do barley, canola, chickpea, things like that. I think are the main crops. They're harvesting the barley right now. We have all the harvester equipment and everything out in the thing. What's the view from where you're at now? I can try and show you. Let me grab this. I'm gonna quickly show you here. So this is my front yard. I know there's a bed in it. It's going to eventually be a succulent bed. Kind of give you a slow pan around so you can see. Back to me. Wow, so many types of plants and trees. Yeah, Tam is as far as being conservative, yes. I mean, hold on, let me get my thing set back up. The area itself is very conservative. Our prime minister is liberal, which is not the same as an American liberal. Sorry, let me set up here. So the area on the whole is conservative. They got a lot of farmers that are like, we want farms, not mines. They're anti-mines, they're anti-windmills, they're anti-transmission lines. They're just very conservative. But we've found in this little town of Rapunyup our community, in addition to, our family, which is, I'm a trans woman, Tam's non-binary, daughter is asexual. We found, there's lesbian couples, there's gay couples, there's other non-binary people in the town. So we've got a little community in this town. Have I seen any giant spiders? A few. Yes, my book is about my life story, and it's there's 3 threads. So the first thread is underlying everything is my my transition story. When did I realize I was a woman? Amongst there is my life, which is my time at NASA, 34 years at NASA, and then my desire to travel around the world and doing a 9-month cruise. What made us settle in Rapunyup? Well, our daughter, our other daughter, lived in Rapunyup. She moved here about 4 years ago, and so it just was convenient. We have other family in the area, and so that's how we ended up in Rapunyup. We kind of looked about an hour. If you put a pin in Rapunyup, because that's where our daughter was living, we kind of looked an hour out. We looked in Horsham, we looked at Matoa, Donald, Stall, something like that. But we loved this little house. So, NASA, thank you. Do you miss a bigger city? Not really. We can get there pretty easy. Melbourne's 3 hours. We can drive to Ballarat in 2 hours. Ararat's an hour. When we go down to see Pod Save America, we're just going to pick up the bus here in town. We get the bus. Takes us to Ballarat. Ballarat, we pick up the train to Southern Cross Station in Melbourne, and we pick the subway there over to Flinders Street, and then we've got a hotel there. We're going to go see Pod Save America. We'll explore Melbourne some in the afternoon, the next day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and then I think we take the train back to Ararat, and from Ararat we pick up the bus back to Rapunyup. You move out of your daughter's, sis, you move out of your daughter's house. So, Mum. So, Tam is, so in Australia they call, mother's Mum, M-U-M. And so Tam is Mum, and I am Mom, M-O-M, because that's the American name. So, we're Mum and Mom. Bus to city and then train to the bigger city. Not bad. Yeah, no. We can get around pretty easily. A lot of times we drive, or you could drive to Ararat or Ballarat where the trains are more often. Hey, Helen. Yeah, so I'm, so Tam is Mum and I'm Mom. That works out well. Our daughter has 2 moms, and our other daughter has 2 moms, and so, yeah. Ooh. Flies, okay. So somebody asked me, what do I don't like about Australia? Flies. The flies are annoying. Does Tam work? Not at the moment. Tam's worked a number of jobs, but right now, since we've moved back, no, we live on, I get a pension from NASA, and I have Social Security, and we don't really need to work at the moment, so Australia is treating me very well. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the peacefulness of it. Yes, the flies are very annoying. You walk to the subway and take that to the biggest city or bus downtown city. Okay, that's cool, TJ. But yeah, I would say it's the flies. What was your role at NASA? Well, I've been there for 34 years, so I had several. I started my life as an engineer, working on the Space Shuttle main engine, avionics system. And I've done a number of ground system development jobs, building the Launch Control Center to launch the next generation of rockets. I've worked flight software, avionics. I've been a manager of system engineering, integration, operations manager. I've been chief architect for ground command control communication systems. So where is Rapunyup? So it's spelled R-U-P Unyup. So it's like, I remember like Rupan. If you think of it like Rupunyup, R-U-P, Rup, A-N-Y-U-P. So Rup and Yup, but they call it Rapanyup. Where is it? It's near Horsham. So it's 3 hours west of Melbourne, 2 hours west of Ballarat, an hour west of Ararat. You worked on a few renowned or historical flight projects we might know while at NASA. Absolutely. Well, I was in the firing room when we launched Challenger on its final flight when it blew up on January 28th, 1986. I was in the training seat for that. I talk about all this in my book, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. I've seen the Hubble Space Telescope sitting in the payload bay of the Space Shuttle Discovery. I've been on Atlantis. I've launched all the space shuttles. I've ridden in the shuttle motion simulator that the astronauts train on. So we did an ascent run where they strap you into the cockpit on a 5-point harness, and then you're on your back, and then they count down, and then the thing shakes, and they launch. And I had, thank you, Cindy. And then you go through ascent, and I actually had him fail engine 1 at T plus 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Are you near Nil? Not too far away. Nil is the other side of Horsham. So yeah, maybe 45 minutes, hour, probably about an hour and 10. Hey, from Atlanta. Thank you. You are sitting truck. I don't know what that means. There's so much skepticism about man landing on the moon. Yeah, so actually, there was actually, I think it was a Chinese or Indian lander that took a really good picture on the moon of the Apollo lander sitting there on the surface. It's still on the surface of the moon. You know, you can literally see it from the probes in orbit around the moon. They've got, with some of the, you can also see the tracks that the astronauts made with their lunar rover driving around the moon's surface. So there's so much evidence there. It's kind of crazy that people don't believe it, but there's a lot of things people don't believe. Daughter is coming to Australia from New York City on Christmas Day. Can't wait. Oh, that's cool, Lexi. Oh, big question, honey, but I missed it then. Did I miss a big question? Oh, about the moon landing. Yeah. You know, I get joked a lot because my family gives me, because when we were living in America, I was talking to Tam in Australia, and I had a question about the phase of the moon, right? It'd be, 3/4 full in America. And I was trying to ask, is it the same phase of the moon in Australia? But I came across, is it the same moon in Australia? And so everyone started laughing, and they're like, you work at NASA and you don't know that we have the same moon in Australia? I'm like, yeah. I know you have the same moon. I was more about the phase of the moon. And I think it's opposite. As we get 3/4 full, if ours is waning, theirs is waxing, just because it's the opposite. If you look at it, I have a thing on my Facebook where the perspective of looking at the moon from the northern hemisphere versus looking at the moon from the southern hemisphere, and it looks different. The moon looks different because of the different angle that we're looking at it from. Tam used to say, growing up, they'd see the man in the moon. You heard about the man in the moon. You really see it in the southern hemisphere. You don't see it as much in the northern hemisphere. The moon, the mouth shape and the face shape is not quite there. But yeah, good questions. I'm still working on getting a non-Amazon version of my book printed. If you saw yesterday's video, I kind of messed up, and I got one that was too small, and so I'm redoing it. I'll probably just do that one. It would be paperback. I think it's BookBee or something like that is the company that does it. It'll be worldwide. You can order from anywhere. Share your favorite flight memory. So, STS, I have to remember. I think it was 56. I can look, it's in the book. I wrote about it in the book. Um, we were about a week away from launch. I think it was Atlantis. No, it was Discovery, actually. We were a week away from soften your voice and hide your hand. My hand? Sorry. So we're a week away from launch on the Space Shuttle Discovery, and we were powering up for a routine test. They do this test called purge and inerting the external tank. So the external tank is the big orange tank that the space shuttle is mounted to. And they do what they call purge and inerting. So they inert the entire tank with helium. And so we have to power up because we have to open the bleed valves on the engine because they inert the entire system, the external tank, the main propulsion system in the space shuttle, and then go through the engines back to the tank. So we had to be powered up. Do I believe in reincarnation? Yes, I do. So when we powered up to do this test, one of the computers halted. And so we got a memory dump, and it turns out there was, and we did a compare, we looked at it, we got what they call a self-checking pair interrupt. Oh, no problem, honeypot. So we got a failure in the engine, and we took a memory dump and analyzed it, and there were 3 locations in memory that were different. And so they were getting ready to replace that computer because it failed, and that would have delayed launch by at least a week. Did they land on the moon in 1969? Yes. So in looking at the dump, I discovered that the 2 of the locations that changed were a result of the first location. So I basically analyzed it and said, hey, it's all due to one location in memory that changed, and it was due to a high energy cosmic event, and convinced them that the computer was still good, and we kept it in, and we launched on time. And about a month later, I was at a program review over in Clearwater, Florida for Honeywell, who is one of the manufacturers of the main engine computer. And the avionics manager for Rocketdyne, who makes the main engines, came up to me on a break and said, he shook my hand, he congratulated me, he's like, thank you, you saved that launch. We were getting ready to replace that controller until you explained why the failure happened. And so, these are little things that you make a difference in part of America's space flight. And that was probably my most moving memory, because it was something I knew I could do technically. And yeah. Went to NASA a few years ago. It was fascinating. Had to be a great job. I really enjoyed my time at NASA. It was a lot of fun. I worked with a lot of great people across the agency. They have a new administrator, Jacob Eisenman, who's a private astronaut, flew on SpaceX. I have mixed feelings about him. I think he's going to do some good. He's going to push for nuclear propulsion, which I think we need something other than the chemical rockets that we have right now. But there's some negative stuff too I'm not real happy about him. I don't think he considers the civil servants that work at NASA as being... Ouch. Ant just bit my toe. That hurt. Go away, Ant. I am barefoot out here on the porch, which is probably not a good thing. Hello. Where was I? Sorry, got distracted when the ant bit me. Love the hair on you. Thank you. I like this outfit. This is one of my new Shein purchases. Does anybody remember what I was talking about? Hey. I get distracted easily. Oh, thank you, Shannon. I'm sorry it's late in different places. Oh yeah, SpaceX. Thank you. Jacob Eisenman. I don't think he considers the NASA people as significant as they are. They play a very vital role. They're very hardworking people. They care about America's space program. They're there to pretty much make sure that I mean, we have a lot of contractors, right? Contractors are wonderful. They do the job. They get a lot done. A lot of times, they get their award fee based on certain criteria, and sometimes they will focus on that criteria, where that might not be the most beneficial thing to do in terms of the big picture and the mission. And so, a lot of times they're cognizant of that, and they want to do the best job for the space program. But sometimes you get managers that are focused on the bottom line, and that's where NASA has to step in and say, no, we're going to go. I know that you guys want to do this, but this is important for the mission. We're going to go do this, even though it may not reflect positively on your award fee. I don't know. I just think he's got some bad ideas of that. I think it's sad that he wants to turn a lot of launches over to commercials, which I'm okay with commercial launches. I think it's great. I'm a little sad that if you get rid of all the launch infrastructure that NASA has, a lot of what I worked on in my career will go with it. But I guess that's just it. So yeah, if you have to go to bed, go to bed. Well, I'm glad you were able to hear. Thank you for joining when you can. People are driving by. Sorry. But I think he'll do okay. I mean, he's passionate. He's passionate about NASA, and that's an important thing. Yeah. You need to get your book. Sounds good. It's available on Amazon. You can go to my profile on TikTok and visit my link tree. And there's other options other than physical. A lot of people nowadays like the audiobook. I narrate the audiobook. So it's me talking for like 15 hours. So you can listen to the book. I've also got ebooks, lots of options for ebooks. Apple, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, all kinds of things for ebooks. If you want physical books, currently it's on Amazon. There's hardcover and paperback. But yeah, thank you, Miss Jen. I have the book here, as you can see, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. And it was a lot of fun writing it. I really enjoyed going through my life and trying to capture things. Can you get a signed copy? If you are in Australia, I actually get somebody a signed copy. I went to Bendigo last week and brought somebody a signed copy. So if you're in Victoria, you can come by. I'll be happy to sign your copy. Yeah, you're in Texas. I'm sorry. I don't know of a good way to do it because postage is so expensive. I'd have to get the book here and sign it and then ship it, and that's double shipping and everything, and I just think that's probably not very practical. I don't think you'd want to pay that much for a signed copy of my book to do all that. Why isn't Tam in my videos anymore? Tam really doesn't like to be in front of the camera. And when we were on the world cruise, Tam liked to be a side snark, give little snarky comments from the side. A lot of times now we're doing stuff at home. I may be doing a video when I get a little moment of time, show you what's going on in the day. Tam's usually off doing other stuff. So, yeah. When we do like we did a mini Australian adventure, I think Tam was in some of them. But yeah. Maybe I could sell a printable signature sticker. That's a really good idea, TJ. I'll look into that. Thank you. How long have you and Tam been together? So we got married in 2017. We met in 2013, and we had a long distance relationship kind of for a while. I proposed in 2016. We got married in 2017. What do you think about the people living on the Villa V cruise ship? So I know a few. We have some friends that were on the Royal Caribbean World Cruise that bought a cabin or two. I think that's a cool way to go. If you can afford it, I think that's an incredible opportunity. They're taking their time. They're really seeing the sights. They don't have to. They've got a schedule that's such that like they spend a lot of time in all the different places they go. I think that's really cool. So yeah, but I will look into that, TJ. This printable signature sticker. Is anyone who made content on the cruise that is now on Billy? I don't know that. No, I don't think they made content. Carlos and gosh, what was Carlos's partner's name? They were friends with Letitia and Diana, who did make content, but I don't think they made content per se. They were on. They were owned a gym. Carlos and shoot, it's gonna kill me. I can't remember Carlos's husband's name. But yeah, they were part of the community. They were another gay couple on the cruise, married. So yeah, I don't know. There are some people that are doing content. I don't know about TikTok, but I know there's some YouTube content creators that are on the Villa V that have been posting videos about their cruise. So if you check out the YouTube videos for Villa V, you'll see a number of content creators that do YouTube. I don't know of any that do TikTok offhand. Oh, thank you. This is one of my new Sheen outfits. So I was considering on TikTok, right now I'm part of the creator development program. I was considering getting out of that because, I mean, the content, the amount of money you make on videos has been going down and down and down. I hardly think it's worth it. And, you know, Mark Sebastian originally did not join up to be a content creator because he believed, because they paid you for content, that TikTok limited your views. So I'm thinking about getting out of the content creators program on TikTok and just being me, maybe having a business account. I don't know. I'm going to look into that. KJ, hey, hi, from Australia. Hey, I'm from Australia too. I'm in little town of Rapaniup. Birdsong is beautiful. I love the birds. They're very pretty. The sound is so beautiful. Wait till like right at sunset. Oh my gosh. It is so loud. And the birds are so noisy right at sunset. We went, when we first moved here, we went to the lake in the nearby town of Matoa. And there's a little lake. And we went at sunset. We went and got some food at this restaurant called the Lazy Lizard. And we took it out to the lake. We also did it in Horsham. At sunset, and the birds and the cockies were just so loud. It was just amazing. What was the biggest culture shock when I moved? You know, we're kind of homebodies. We don't get out and do a lot, so I don't know that I've had a whole lot of culture shock. So the town we live in, there's no delivery of anything. So, you know, we used to, in Florida, if we were feeling tired and didn't feel like making dinner, we could order Domino's, you could order DoorDash, you could do all that stuff. Those options do not exist in a small country town in rural Victoria. If you want something to eat, you're going to have to go get it yourself, or you'll make it at home. So that was probably, I don't know if it's a shock, but it's the biggest difference. You know, we can't, at the end of the day, be tired and just go, you know, I think I want Domino's, and just call up or order it on the app, and somebody will deliver it to your door. Nobody's going to deliver anything in Rapaniup. So that's probably the biggest thing. The positive culture is that I can walk to the blacksmith. It's about 500 meters away, and I'm not worried about being shot as I walk down the road. Same, regional New South Wales. No DoorDash here either. Yep. But yeah, I would say the biggest culture shock from a positive is I'm not stressed about being shot. I know they had a horrific shooting in Bondi recently. It's horrific. Australian government is already taking proactive steps to tighten their gun laws, and something you never see the United States do. But yeah. So hello. I'm here on my front porch in the little town of Rapania, Western Victoria in Australia, enjoying my coffee. Got my book, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. We're talking about it and talking about my life, things that are going on. If you have questions, I try and answer them. I've got electrolysis coming up in Ballarat on Monday. It's a 2-hour drive. I wish you would come to Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. You know, we could in the future. You know, there's a lot of times there's repositioning cruises. If we had one that left Vancouver and came to Australia, we might consider doing that. We just don't want to have to, right now anyway, we don't want to have to go to the United States. Just because I'm worried as a trans woman with a passport that says I'm female, and even though that's not my sex assigned at birth, yada yada, I'm worried about getting stuck if I go back, that ICE will detain us and we'll never be able to leave. So I don't want to go to the United States right now. So if we could fly into Vancouver, well, you said Victoria, that's the other side, isn't it? That's on the East Coast. I'm sorry, I misread that. Oh, no, BC is British Columbia. Yeah, so we could probably get to Vancouver easily. But yeah. I love how people just, they're going to comment, they're going to say something like, well, the man inside. Haha, very funny, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Vancouver Island. I've heard Vancouver Island is beautiful. I haven't been to Vancouver Island yet. We've been to Vancouver a couple times, but not to the island. I would say it's feasible one of these days we would make it to Vancouver, probably as part of a cruise, a Trans-Pacific cruise, either coming from Australia to Vancouver or from Vancouver to Australia. It's not out of the question. It's so nice on the island. Did I feel like a woman when I was married to my first wife? Yes. But it wasn't, she had a strong religious upbringing. I tried kind of skirting around the topic a couple times, and we were shopping for women. We were shopping for clothes, and we were going through the mall and looking for clothes for her. And I made a comment that women's clothes are so prettier compared to men's clothes. I wish I could wear women's clothes, and she did not take that very well. So I didn't go pursue it any farther, but yeah. I don't think she knew. She knew that I had issues that caused the male parts not to work very well. I would say we had some issues in that. We tried to figure out why things weren't working. We looked for medical reasons. Turned out there was, it was in the software, it was in the brain. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy now. Transitioning to become, to live my life as my authentic self, I say is the single best thing I've ever done for myself. Hey, Melissa Travels, how you doing? It's the single best thing I've ever done for myself. I've been happy every single day since I transitioned. The stress is gone. People have, commented, especially since the book came out. People that I've known in high school had said, you were always so sad as a child. And I didn't know why, and now I do. What time is it here? It's about noon. Thank you. It's about noon on a Saturday morning. Oh, you're welcome, Eloise. I will always be unapologetically me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay. I am who I am, and I'm happy about it. So Australia ahead or behind U.S.? We are ahead, about 16 hours right now. So it's noon on a Saturday morning, and it's almost 5 p.m. Friday in California. Yep. Did Tam know when you got married? We kind of talked about it, so she knew a little bit. They knew a little bit. Are you a Christian? I don't consider myself a Christian. I consider myself more Buddhist. I've grown up as an Episcopalian, Methodist, Protestant, a bunch of different. I've been in a bunch of different churches, but I would consider myself a Buddhist if I was consider myself anything. Yeah, and it's Friday. Tam was okay with that. Tam's openness and my ability to just talk to Tam about anything was one of the reasons I was able to transition. And we talked about it, and they wanted me to be my authentic self. We acknowledged that there was issues with me, and we worked through it. I would say, in the end, I think I mentioned this in the book. Even before I transitioned, I would say that our relationship was probably a very good lesbian relationship. Even though I was presenting as male, I was more probably a feminine male. And Tam, somebody asked me the other day, it's like, does Tam's sexual orientation change? No, not really. Tam has always liked more effeminate men or masculine women, and that hasn't changed. So, yeah. 1 a.m. in Liverpool. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here. It's so late at night. I'm intriguing. That's a nice way of saying it. If you want, go to my profile and check my link tree. You can find my book, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. It's my life story. And if you read that or listen to it, I narrate the audiobook. You will really know me about as well as I know myself. Flies. Did I mention flies? I hate flies. Anyway. Yeah. No, things are going really well. I really enjoy being in Australia. We got a couple things coming up. So February, we're going to go see Book of Mormon in Melbourne. Are you selling a lot of books? I think I will listen to your book. For somebody who's never published a book, I think I'm doing pretty good. I think, that it's hard getting some of the data. I get Amazon data, which, I've sold maybe 200 on Amazon. I know it's not bestseller material, but, who's Bobby Waterman? People on TikTok see me, and people who follow the World Cruise know me. I've talked to the reporters that did the article on ABC out of Australia, and I think after the first year, we're going to do some stuff on the book to try and get the word out a little bit better. Jake, I think you've missed my comment. I probably did. But again, thank you for letting us have access to direct. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Jake. We were going to go visit your mom, I think. We were going to go over and visit the other day. The Book of Mormon is fantastic. We loved it. Me and Tam saw it in New York City when we were on the World Cruise. But our daughter Jordan hasn't seen it yet, so we're going to go down and see that. What made her go to Australia? Well, Tam's from Australia. So, when the election happened last year and it was clear that Trump won another term, we talked about what we wanted to do, and we knew we were going to leave the United States. We had made a short list while we were traveling on the World Cruise of places we'd want to live. So we looked at Portugal, was high on the list, Mauritius, Grenada in the Caribbean, Uruguay in South America were probably our top 4, and Belize in Central America. Even though we didn't go on the World Cruise, we've been there a couple times. So that was like our top 5 places. We were thinking, long term, we would probably move out of the country. But when it happened and we're like, oh, we've got to go, Australia was the safest and easiest. We thought about Portugal, but, with Trump's relationship with Putin, we didn't know how safe Europe would really be, and would be running from one place into another place that wasn't safe. So we ended up in Australia. Are you done with surgeries? Not yet. I'm going to start this year, coming up. I had the world to choose from, and I chose Rupp. Yep. And that's actually, when ABC did the story, it was like from NASA to Rapanyup. American trans woman finds community in a little town of Rapanyup. Have you thought of visiting Saudi Arabia? Nope. And, hold on, I got to do the little mappy thing. Hold on. get the puzzle piece. Thank you, Dawn. No, thank you. I mean, sorry. Thank you, Charm. I knocked the book over. So, where did I forgot where I was going? Yeah, so we ended up in Rapania because our daughter lived in Rapania. We wanted to come and move back to Victoria. Victoria is one of the more LGBTQ friendly places in Australia. I think New South Wales is not bad either. I think Queensland has some issues, but yeah. Thank you, Deb. It's a cute little town. You're in Horsham frequently. We are in Horsham frequently as well, as it's the biggest town next to where we are. We go for grocery shopping in Aldi. I go get my nails done there. So, has there been a lot of side effects taking hormones? I wouldn't say side effects. I mean, the hormones are doing their thing. I'm seeing my skin soften, my face is rounding up, breasts are growing, lots of good things. Which side of Australia, Perth or the other side? We're just 3 hours north of Melbourne. So on the east side, if you look, where Tasmania is, the little island on the southern coast, Melbourne is pretty much directly up from that. And we're about 3 hours west of Melbourne. Why do surgeries before fixing your teeth? I really don't think I have much problem with my teeth. I know they look yellow. I do use whitening stuff. I don't know why people get so hung up on teeth. How do you respond to people who identify different races and want to change their skin color? I think people can do whatever they want with their own body. I was just looking at a map. Very cool. Cool, Sarah. People have to feel comfortable in their own skin, and I think that's important. I use the women's bathroom because I'm a woman. And I try and be open. I will answer any question asked of me. I won't really, if you're asking me about something that's personal to somebody else, I won't say. But if it's about me, do I have kids? So I have no biological children. Our daughter, Jordan, that is Tam's biological daughter, I've legally adopted when they moved to the United States. I have a stepdaughter here in Australia. I have a stepdaughter from a first marriage that doesn't really talk to me much anymore. Before transition, it was not related to that. And I have 2 step-granddaughters that are amazing. They live in the United States. One in South Florida and the other one in New Orleans. But no biological children of my own. But yeah. But thank you all for ones who have read the book and the ones who are asking questions to go read the book. I appreciate that. One life to live, live it. Absolutely. You got to live your own life. I mean, everyone else is already taken. See you, Kim. I know people have to drop off. I've been on for about an hour. Still drinking my coffee. I'll probably go for a little bit longer until I finish my coffee, and then, or until the flies really start to annoy me. The longer wigs look better on you, not the short ones. Yeah, I kind of mix. Depending on the outfit, I like the long ones. I kind of wear a lot of the short ones lately because Tam likes the short ones. So I kind of wear that one because I know Tam likes them. I did. It's right here. The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. If you go to my profile and check out Linktree, there's all kinds of options. There's ebooks, there's an audiobook, there's paperback and hard copies. How much daylight do you guys have now? Quite a bit. I think it gets dark around 9 at night, and it gets light around 6. So yeah, quite a bit of light. It's middle of summer, so it's wonderful. I'm enjoying it. I've got my new summer wardrobe arrived via Temu and Shein the last couple days. Are you close to a beach? No, not really. No, we're in the middle of farmland. Oh, thank you. Um, thank you, thank you. Hope everyone has a great Christmas too. Thank you for getting the book. I hope you like it. If anyone else has read the book, I'd love to hear um, thoughts on it. I know some of the chapters, especially chapter 4, which talks a lot about my time at NASA, my early days working at the Space Center, are particularly nerdy. Tam struggled with that. Of course, Tam's heard all of my NASA stories time and time again. So when Tam was reading it, they actually fell asleep during the NASA part because it is about noon, 12:09 on Saturday morning, is what time it is here. Why do you feel unsafe in the U.S. when people walk around any way they want? Well, I lived in Florida, and Florida has a governor, Ron DeSantis, that's got a "Don't Say Gay" agenda, as well as the current administration is making it very difficult for trans people to live. My doctor in Florida is no longer supporting trans people. They say it's about trans youth, but they're making it hard for trans adults as well to get the health care they need. So it's not good or bad. Sorry, Audrey, I didn't boy or girl. All the kids are girls, if that was the question. Me. I'm a woman. Thank you. Thank you, TJ. Sometimes I miss the question because I'm busy talking, and I'm kind of single-threaded. I don't really multitask very well. Said there are places in Australia unsafe too. I wouldn't say unsafe. There are less inclusive areas. I think northern Queensland is probably more closer to Florida than others. But Victoria is there's laws. You can't discriminate against people for sexual orientation, and they mean it. Not like just laws that you have to then fight in court. They will take you seriously. Yes, I'm in Australia. I'm in Victoria, the state of Victoria, in a little town of Rapanyup, and about 2 hours west of Melbourne. So, and I'm enjoying it. This is a beautiful time. Beautiful weather right now. It is going to get up to about 30 today, Celsius. No, I was born in Connecticut, a little town called Gales Ferry, down along the Thames River. And then I moved to Florida to go to college and worked at NASA. We have laws in the U.S. too, LOL. Yeah, I know. So, in America. I was born and raised in America, and born in Connecticut, and then lived in Florida, the U.S. Yeah, exactly, DJ. We talked about that. I have some trans friends that moved out of Florida and moved to Chicago, moved to blue states. Hello. And we thought about that, but it's still, I don't know if you've read Project 2025, but they're implementing Project 2025 right now. And it is their goal is to turn the United States into a white Christian heteronormative society. And why did you came in Australia? So we moved to Australia because Tam was from Australia originally, and we needed to get out of the country, and so it was the safest one. That's one of the most incorrect statements I've heard. Okay, I missed that. People say this like, "Oh, I'm part of the LGBT. I may be a gay male, and I'm going to be okay." Or I'm, white. I'm going to be okay. It's only a matter of time. They're going to come for everyone. It's just not good. So and if you've never felt scared, then good. You should be very blessed. Hey, from Palm Beach County, Captain Jim. How are you contributing to our country? Which country are you referring to, Australia or United States? So, the United States, I've spent my entire career working in the United States. I get a pension, Social Security. The cruelty is the point, unfortunately. Exactly, RJ. That's the only thing that explains it. It's all just about cruelty. How are you contributing to our country, Australia, love? So, how am I contributing? Well, right now I'm waiting on my spousal visa to come in. I'm providing dollars into your economy. I get paid in U.S. dollars and then spend it in Australia. I am part of the community here in Rapanyup. I don't know. I'm not sure what answer you're looking for. But we're doing good. Part of the larger LGBT community here in Australia. I love Australia. Yeah, I don't. I'd like to think I'm providing. I'm contributing to Australia by being part of it here. Don't listen to the type of question. They are probably on the dole. Don't listen to that. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'm 63. I'm retired. So could I work? I don't know. I'd probably take a consulting gig if one of Australia's budding space industries wanted to reach out to me for a graybeard review. But I wasn't working in the United States either. I'm retired. I'm not sure about when you get the concept of retired. We have a house. We spend money. We live here. We're supporting the community. We buy local. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. That's a funny way of putting that, Rachel. So I don't support the current regime in America, and I don't like what they're doing. That doesn't mean I don't like them. That doesn't mean that I am anti-American. And yeah, I take the money from it. I have a pension and Social Security. I've paid into that. You would too if you had got money. So it doesn't really matter at that point what you think of the country. You're gonna take the money you're entitled to. Yeah, I mean, it's a silly question. People ask that a lot. It's like, oh, but you're going to take the U.S. money. Yeah, because I've worked in the U.S. I've put 34 years into NASA. I've paid Social Security. I get a pension. I get Social Security. I hate Trump like most of the people do. So, I don't know. Did the Epstein files come out? Weren't they supposed to come out today? But yeah, no, they're out. Yay. That'll be fun. Thank you, Birdie. It's all blank pages. Probably. I'm sure it's heavily redacted. Why don't I think I don't know. I'm just asking. Only drip feeding him too. Yeah, redacted as fuck. Yep, you knew that was going to happen. It's amazing why we're waiting for something to tell us something we already know. I mean, everybody knows the relationship between Trump and Epstein. Everyone knows through the court filings that, he was accused of having sex with a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old. Everyone knows this, but they're waiting for somebody with authority to go tell them and somebody to do something. But yeah, I'm not saying it's not I don't care what party you're on. I think both anyone who is a pedophile or assaults women, especially children, should be punished. And it doesn't matter whether they're Democrat or Republican. That's the funny thing is, like, Democrats seem to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter who they are. If they're assaulting children, they should be held accountable. And Republicans are like, well, they're Democrats on too. Yay, good. get them all. This isn't about a popularity contest. It's not about, we're not in a cult. Um, yes, whoever was responsible. So I think that was a magpie. It's very loud and annoying, isn't it? We've got a lot of the littler birds here, but I think there's some magpies that are just being loud and obnoxious. Yeah, I'm on my front porch here, so it's you hit some of the nature sounds. So far, I've seen several wallabies, kangaroos. I've seen some foxes in the area, rabbits, echidnas. I've seen some echidnas. I haven't seen koalas in the wild. I've seen them we went to Phillips. No, fortunately not yet. We put these little snake things, they're like little pulsers, like something out of Dune. They're like the thumpers in Dune that drive the snakes away. Well, we have those under our house for snakes to keep they scare me. The kangaroos scare me, especially when you're driving. But we have these snake things under the house that make little pounding noises to drive the snakes away, because we have brown snakes in the area, which we're worried about Bandit being outside. How's Puppy? Puppy's doing good. Bandit is doing wonderful. He loves his backyard. Unfortunately, he's fast enough that he catches birds, and he's eaten one, made him sick. The other two he didn't eat. He dropped one on our kitchen floor. Thank you so much. Is it true that the insects and spiders are bad there? So the flies are annoying. They have bad spiders, but we had the same ones in the United States. They have what they call redbacks. We had black widows in the United States. It's the same spider. They have funnel webs. We had brown recluse spiders in Florida. They're the same thing. We had rattlesnakes and coral snakes and everything in our backyard in Florida. So I don't know. It's a mix. We had some huntsmen, but they have really big huntsmen here, though they're not bad spiders. Tam's arachnophobic, so they all freak Tam out. So I don't like snakes. I can do spiders, but snakes scare the bejesus out of me. So I'm happy to have not seen a snake yet. Tam is enjoying being back home. We really love it here. Tam likes to drive. These country roads in Victoria, it's not like driving in Titusville or driving in Orlando or Miami or anywhere in the United States. There's so much traffic. The country roads here are so easy drives. There's not a lot of traffic on them. You'll occasionally hit a farm tractor. You'll run across a farm tractor. You have to slow down for, but it's just very, very comfortable driving. So they block people when they're being annoying. This is called a TikTok Live, where you're going to talk and, you're supposed to, interact and be friendly. And if you're here to just be annoying, TJ's going to come block you. Thank you. Tell Tam to hit a spider with hairspray. Tam does not really use hairspray, but we have the spider stuff. Yeah, too bad. We were in St. John's. I'm sorry we didn't get to meet. It was beautiful. We loved coming to St. John's. It's your safe space. Yeah, I'm going to block them if they're not making it safe. Thank you, TJ. I appreciate everything you're doing. I really do. You're amazing. Flies. Did I mention the flies in Australia? Yeah. But, any other questions or about the... Thank you, DJ. About the book. Has anybody listened to the audiobook yet? Tam says don't listen to the audiobook if you're driving, because Tam seems to think I have a voice that will put people to sleep. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Megan. Hey, Melbourne, sorry. In Florida, it's Melbourne. In Australia, it's Melbourne. Same way. I just got to remember to pronounce it correctly depending on where they're. I have not had an encounter with a poisonous snake yet, so I've been told my voice is very soothing. And if you're tired, don't listen to me on it. Don't listen to the audiobook if you're driving, I guess. Thank you, KJ. But yeah, 15 hours of talking. That was an interesting experience recording the audiobook. You know, you have to. So I don't know if anybody's ever done it before, but I wrote the manuscript for the book. You know, and then what I did is I went into the document and by chapter. So I saved them individual chapters, and then each chapter I kind of did it a sentence at a time, and then put a couple of lines between them so I could read one sentence at a time. And then I had an audio, I had the mic set up and everything, and so I would read it, and then if I messed up, I would just pause and just reread it. And I'd go through that, and then you have to go back and edit out all the mess ups you do. And then I kind of filtered it. I don't have an expensive recording studio, so I did this in like my bedroom. And so occasionally you'd hear trucks go by and things like that. So I would run it through a filter, which is meant to separate out lyrics from music. And so it's separated in different tracks. There's a voice track, and anything that's not voice track basically would normally be music, but in this case it was cars going by or other noises in the house. And then I deleted the other noises in the house and just kept the vocal part, and then saved it as a MP3 file. And then you assemble it all together on a website that does audiobooks. You put all the audiobooks together, and then it publishes it. But it ends up being about 15 hours. I've never talked so much in my life. I'm not a talker, even though I've kissed the Blarney Stone. I didn't really get the gift of gab. I can talk for a while, but I tend to let others talk. So when we were on the world cruise, I made a New Year's resolution to talk more. And Tam said, well, that meant they had to talk less, and that wasn't going to happen. So I did talk more when I'm by myself, but when with others, I tend to sit back and let others do the talking. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm happy to answer questions. I hope you all have a great day. I'm almost finished with my coffee too, so I probably will kind of hang it up soon. Let me go give you a final pitch for the book, The Woman Inside, From Outer Space to Inner Peace. If you go to my profile on TikTok, you'll find Linktree. The Linktree's got like a shop button. I will, TJ, thank you. I will say hi to Tam. If you go to the shop, they've got all the options. There's several options for the audiobook. There's Apple, there's Spotify, there's Kobo, there's like one other, I don't remember. It's not on Audible yet. Eventually, Audible takes a long time. There's ebooks. So you've got Kindle, you've got Apple, you've got Barnes & Noble Nook, you've got Kobo, you've got a bunch of different ones, things I'd never even heard of. And then, of course, if you want physical copies like this hardcover, you've got to right now go to Amazon, or there's a paperback version on Amazon. I will eventually have a paperback version somewhere else, but as of right now, those are your options. Please go and check out the book. It's my life story, 34 years at NASA. It's also me traveling around the world on the Ultimate World Cruise, as well as our other explorations around the planet. And intertwined is the story of when did I realize I was a woman, and why did it take me so long? So I hope you all get it if you have a chance to read it. If you have got it and you're reading it, thank you so much if you read it. I would appreciate a review. If you don't mind even reading a review on either Goodreads or Amazon, that would help me out a lot. So thank you. And yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day. And I've been on for a little while, so I will do this again. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you all have a great time. And thank you for being part of this experience and this live. We'll pop it off here and say it was great talking with you and spending my morning doing this. So thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone, and thank you spending time to be with me. So thank you. Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Christmas if you're probably on Christmas holiday. If you're not, I'm sorry, but we will talk to you all later.